brainless Quran.
You're saying disciples never met Jesus?
So to be honest, the question that needs to ask here is, who are these people? We know nothing about them. Like in Islam, we have chain of transmission, hadith, sanad. We have science of hadith. We know mutawatir. We know how many people heard it. They have nothing. So if you read the New Jerome commentary of the Bible, which is the tafsir, in a nutshell, like telling them who these individuals are, Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. John, they're saying, which John are you talking about? Is it John the son of Zebedee, John the presbyter, or John the apostle? There's 3 Johns. They're saying which one is the one.
Wait, did he just say that 3 different Johns, and he listed John the son of Zebedee and John the apostle as different Johns?
So I think he said John the. Oh yeah, so John the son of.
Look
Zebedee.
at this. Oh yeah. Look. So
John the presbyter.
He said there are 3 Johns, and presbyter. Hey, presbyter. Listen, so is it John the son of Zebedee? So he said there are 3 Johns, and we can't figure out which John it is. Is it John the son of Zebedee, John the presbyter, or John the apostle? So Anthony, is John the son of Zebedee different from John the apostle?
No. So what he should have said was John the Baptist.
Yeah, but that's not confusing to anyone. I mean, except Osama Abdullah.
What he completely misses is that everything after the proper name, John, is there precisely to disambiguate who's in view in these different accounts, right? So when John the Baptist is portrayed as prophesying or speaking forth out in the wilderness and people are coming to him to be baptized, we know it's not John the son of Zebedee because it is disambiguated by the phrase John the Baptist. Right, you have disambiguating phrases all throughout the New Testament. That was how they did it back then. They didn't have last names, so you'd have Simon Bar Jonah after the name of his father, or Jesus of Nazareth. Right, these were disambiguating phrases. So in the New Testament, you have John the Baptist and you have John the son of Zebedee, who is also John the Apostle. Right, but this John the presbyter person, by the way, is a figure that really doesn't exist in the sense that he intends. Later in church history, some people came to think that a reference to somebody named John the Presbyter was a reference to some other John, but it was simply another way of referring to John the Apostle, John the son of Zebedee. Now, there's all kinds of discussion over that, but the point is nobody... well, first of all, nobody says presbyter. But
Ali Dawah does. See, you lied. It's a prophecy. He prophesied that you would lie, and you said no one says it when he says it.
What do presbyters do? Yeah.
So a presbyter, for those that don't know, the word presbyteros is the Greek word for elder. And Peter, for example, refers to himself, though an apostle, as an elder. Right, it could be used to refer to somebody who's mature in his age and wisdom and so forth, or it can be referring to somebody who has an official ecclesiastical authority, right, in the church, an elder, somebody who exercises ruling authority in the church. And so the apostles also sometimes called themselves elders, or were called elders. So later in church history, John the Apostle is referred to as John the Presbyter. By the way, not John the Cardinal or whatever, John the Presbyter. But anyways, there's no legitimate question here about who wrote the 4th gospel and who that John is. We know who he is. Notice he says, we don't know who these people are, right? He referred to him, although he doesn't know that John the son of Zebedee is the same as John the Apostle. But notice he says, John the son of Zebedee. You're being told something right there about this John. He had a father named Zebedee, right? He was a brother of somebody named James. They were called Boanerges, sons of thunder, a representation of their character, right? They were fiery characters. We know all sorts of things about these guys. We might want to know more about them, but pretending we know nothing about them is not even true. And pretending that, they have all these books about these guys and we could just turn to them and we know all that we want to know about them. What happens when we turn to their sources and say this or that, right? They start saying, that's not authentic, right? Imagine if we start pointing to, as a Presbyterian.
No, he's a Presbyterian. He's a Presbyter Ian.
Why did he bite the press? Why was he doing that?
Yeah, he doesn't like press. He doesn't like, Muhammad didn't like, what did he do to people that gave him bad press?
Anthony, I think you're being way too nice here. So according to you, Ali Dawah just said Christians don't even know who this John was. They can't tell the difference between three people: John the son of Zebedee, John the presbyter, and John the apostle. Which one is it? And you're saying that these are all the apostle John?
Yeah.
So this would be like me. Muslims, if you don't know what, guys, here's the thing, because he's talking to people who don't know anything, right? So this allows him to say anything, no matter how stupid, and they don't realize how stupid he sounds to anyone who has any clue about what he's talking about. He just said, Christians don't know the difference between, they don't know which John it is. Is it this John, that John, and that? And it's the same John. Muslims, this would be like me coming to you and saying, Muslims believe in three different Muhammads. There's Muhammad ibn Abdullah, then there's Muhammad the cross-dresser. Yeah, and then there's that's Muhammad who married Aisha. Aren't they stupid? they think they're all these different Muhammads. You'd be going, Are you joking? Are you serious? But I mean, if you do it for Dawah, my goodness, they'll make you a hero.
You have a point here. If they reviewed, if they together sat down and reviewed a video of a critic of Islam who, makes such a blunder, they wouldn't let that go. They would be very harsh on that. They would make fun of it forever. They would use it to, like, look at him. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. How can you listen to such an ignorant person? They would use that to no end, without limits. And here he is speaking so much nonsense about things that he claims to be knowledgeable about.
Yeah, and Muslims who are watching, why is this? Again, if me or AP or Antony made this sort of blunder when we're talking about Islam, we said, oh, they believe in three different Muhammads, and it's, oh, Muhammad, the husband of Khadijah, Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, Muhammad, the father of Ibrahim. Ha ha ha! So dumb. They believe in three different Muhammads. We would never hear the end of that. 20 years from now, if we say something about Islam, that will be thrown in our faces. Are you the guys who are so stupid that you thought this was three different Muhammads? Are you that dumb? And here you have your champion of Dawah doing it, and you just don't care. It doesn't bother you how stupid he sounds to anyone outside, as long as he sounds convincing to some people who don't know any better. And that's all that matters.
Did you guys notice that Mark made his way back before John? He's ahead of Matthew now, but
you
can't go.
Before it was John all the way to Mark. Real winner here. All right, let's let him wrap this up.
John, they're saying, which John are you talking about? Is it John the son of Zebedee, John the presbyter, or John the apostle? There's three Johns. They're saying which
that
one is the one.
They don't know. They're so stupid.
So the thing is here, I'm getting information about the hereafter from people I don't know, from a book
you definitely don't know
that they wrote, inspired by God, that's full of mistakes, and they are telling me about a God concept that makes no sense. This is
especially if you lie about it.
Yeah.
As far as I know, you go to Speaker's Corner every Sunday.
All right,
hold on for a second.
Oh,
He concludes that by saying this is janazah. This is a funeral. So he is insinuating that this is completely a destruction, a burial of Christian belief and Christian teachings. This is the typical language that they usually apply to when they debate.
You're finished.
Yeah.
You're finished.
So he speaks so much nonsense, and then finishes with that. What does this tell you?
Yeah, it's you see, you Christians are finished, because I can talk about Christianity and the Bible and obviously have no clue what I'm talking about, and I can talk about the Quran and the Hadith and once again show I have no clue what I'm talking about, and I can completely go against everything Muhammad and Allah said, but my followers don't care because they've been conditioned to mindlessly accept any idiotic nonsense I've said. And so, welcome. You see, it's your funeral because we're crushing you with this. This is brilliant. This is Dawah. I don't think we need to go on, because all he says after this is how Muslims crush. They ask him, what happens at Speaker's Corner? And he says, we just crush all the Christians, and they crush them, ha ha ha. And any Muslim, he says, one single Muslim by himself can crush all these Christians. This is interesting stuff. All right, we don't need to go through the rest of this, do we? Been going for a while.
And people like these are praised by Muslims all over the internet as these very I mean, even this video, if you go into the comment section, there are a bunch of Muslims are like, wow, mashallah,
So
brother,
powerful, so
so
powerful.
powerful. You changed my mind so much. I was questioning, but now you made me hold on with this brilliant knowledge.
I showed this video to 7 priests and they all converted, alhamdulillah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I guess the only other thing there is him, once again, him not understanding. Yes, there are plenty of people who doubt the authorship of the Bible in terms of saying, I don't know that Mark actually wrote the gospel according to Mark. If you go back, you have people saying who wrote these books. You can be skeptic. You can dial up your skepticism and say, I don't believe these people knew what they were talking about when they were saying Mark wrote this and Matthew wrote that and so on. And I don't believe it when it comes, and I don't believe when I get a copy and it says this is the gospel according to Matthew and so on. I don't believe any of that. I'm going to be skeptical. Great. You can be skeptical of the authorship. One, this would wreak havoc. This would wreak havoc on Allah affirming the gospel that Christians have as the authoritative word of Allah. That would be one problem. The other problem is he then goes on to say, but we know who we're dealing with when we talk about the hadith. Guy, if you applied skepticism to that, no, you wouldn't. Right? If you did the exact same thing, how do I know you guys knew what you're talking about? How do I know that's who actually wrote it? How do I know you knew this person? In the hadith, you're talking about sources written centuries after the events. If you apply a small bit of the skepticism you apply to the Christian sources, you'd say this is nonsense. This is nonsense. So it's, do you accept sources written centuries after the events? If you do, congratulations. We can give you all sorts of additional stuff about everyone who's important in Christianity, because we also have sources that come way later. We don't trust them because they're way later, right? You guys don't have any early sources. And so you only have sources that come way later, and then you fill in all the details. You fill in all the details by writing, we'll say this guy's this and this guy's that. You see, it's so perfect. Guys, I mean, looking at your Dawah, guys, what does it take to realize what a mess this is and how deceptive the entire process has been? And when you look and say, wow, this is what Dawah is doing now. Dawah is completely misrepresenting everything, lying about Islam, lying about Christianity, lying about everything in order to increase people's faith. Okay, guess what? That's what it's always been, ladies and gentlemen. You see it with Ali Dawah, but that's what it's always been. So how in the name of common sense do you say, but in the early centuries, it was all these super trustworthy guys?
Conclusion, Ali Dawah completely destroyed and buried Christianity. It's a funeral, as he said.
Well,
yeah.
Ali Dawah has given AP the vaccine against Christianity.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we're all done here. Any final parting thoughts?
Well, yeah. Thank you for making me listen to all that.